You're listening to the WB Download, coming to you from Wieland Builders showroom in Studio 1C. We are a podcast centered around building custom homes, the customer experience of building a custom home, and a really entertaining listen from many great guests and interviews that may or may not have anything to do with building. I'm excited to share with you their voice and their stories that will enhance your idea of the custom builder world. Hey everybody, I'm Jeff Wieland with Wieland Builders, coming to you live from Studio 1C in the Wieland Builders headquarters. Thanks for joining us here on this fifth episode of the WB Download. Today is March 14th, 2023, and we're really excited about the show we have today, as we always are. And our guest today is my friend Amy Webb from Butler Tech Vocational School here in Southwest Ohio, and she's got a lot of cool things to say about the educational world, the things that she does, and vocational education. So let's get it started and roll right into it. All right, so let's start off with the first part of our show. As always, it's called What's Happening? What's going on in the world right now? And for us here in Southwest Ohio, for Wieland Builders, for things in general in our industry, we've had a lot of stuff going on. So last week or the week before, I believe it was for the Home Builders Association of Greater Cincinnati, we hold the most traditional, largest Homerama in the country, and one of the greatest Homerama shows in the country. And we had our Homerama Site Selection Committee happening for 2024, and we chose a farm out in Goshen, Ohio. It's the old Klosterman. There's a big company here called Klosterman Bakery, and it was their farm that is now being divvied up into large acre sites. And so the sites are an acre and a half each on this particular piece where the show is going to be. There's larger sites out there. It's a beautiful setting, old barns, just a great area to be. It's close to Loveland, which is somewhat interesting for people because you can get down into the city of Loveland. They've revamped that area and have a lot of good things going on down there. We are, of course, interested every year for looking to build a home in a show. If we have a customer that wants to do that fits what we're looking to do for the show. If we do end up building a show house in 2024, this will be our 25th year in Homerama. We are the oldest, longest standing running home builder in the history of the Home Builders Association, and we like to keep it going. It's always a great thing to show off our product, have all of our friends and our customers and our family come out and see the house and see the show and see what we can do. It's pretty cool. So another thing we have going on right now is we have the opening day, the Cincinnati Reds opening day parade coming up, and it's on March 30th. And one of the reasons why it's a big deal for us is because Wieland Builders puts a float every year in that parade. And so far, out of our 6 years or 7 years, this will be our 7th year, I think, doing it, we've won first, second, and third place, which is pretty cool because there's a ton of floats in this deal. We are one of the few people who actually builds our float. We build it on one of our drags that we have for our excavation equipment. And we build it out of scrap material in our shop, and it just depends on whatever idea I come up with or what we put together. And this year, our theme is Pitch Perfect. So we try and get our theme to go around building houses, something to do with some sort of building, and the Cincinnati Reds and Findlay Market and Pitch Perfect. Of course, maybe you've seen the movie. So we're going to have, it'll be pretty cool. I don't want to spoil it all, but it's a pretty cool design. We've got a truss, a crane set in a truss. It's on a framed house that's set in a pitch of the roof. And then we've got a piano or an organ, I guess it is, sitting in the middle of the float on pitcher's mound. And then we've got a lot of other things happening there. So it's going to be pretty cool. It's a good day, good team building exercise for us to get out and go and hang out down there at the parade. Hopefully it's a warm day. We've gotten pretty lucky in the last so many years, but hopefully it's a warm, sunny day, no rain, and we can enjoy it. So the other thing we just did here last week, 2 weeks ago, is we wrapped up our annual trade breakfast. So every year we have what we call a trade breakfast, and we bring all of our trades in. Ton of people. There's, I think Amy and I will talk about it a little bit here. I thought there was like 300 or 400 people. There's actually about 100 people that come to it. And the purpose of this is for us to get everybody together. It's our team and our trade partners and suppliers, and get everybody together to say thank you. We want to say thank you to those guys for all that they do with us and for us. Without them, we don't survive. Without them, we don't make these awesome homes that we do. And we want to make sure that they understand how grateful we are for them. We give them our goals and objectives for the year, walk down through it with them, talk about what happened last year and how it looked and what we're seeing for this year and how it's looking. And then we talk about some goals and we talk about our core values, because we want them to all be on the same page as we are. We want them to have the same beliefs in this company as we do. And it's a big, long train, and it takes a lot of organization and systems and meetings and breakfasts like this to get that train and all the cars running in the same direction. We hold this breakfast, something we started a couple years ago at the vocational school here, which Amy, our guest today, is on the staff with, and it's called Butler Tech. And we hold it over there at the school, and the culinary kids make us breakfast. And it is one of the single greatest breakfasts you could ever have. These culinary kids are unbelievable at what they do. And as always, anything that comes out of Butler Tech like that, they've done a great job of training these guys, but it's a good chance for us to go over there and meet them. The other thing Butler Tech does is they bring in other educators from other vocational schools. They bring students there who are interested in the building business, interested in welding, interested in things where we can put them to work, where they have the opportunity to mingle with us and do a little bit of, try and line up some jobs, maybe talk to some guys about what we expect out of them and what they're looking to do in their lives. So it's really a great morning. We try and do it really early in the morning so these guys can come over, listen to what we have to say, eat breakfast with us, hang out a little bit, and then get on their way and get back to work. It's worked out really good. We started this thing probably 7-8 years ago at Rick's Tavern in Fairfield, and our electrician owned that bar, and he would make us breakfast there in the bar. He'd open the place up really early. We'd bring everybody in there, and then we got the idea to switch it over to Butler Tech to try and promote that program over there. So it was really cool. And we've had, like I said, we've had a lot of stuff going on, and that is really a highlight of the year, because I love getting out in front of everybody and finally getting a chance to talk to them when we're not on the job and just saying thank you. On the farm, we had another baby a couple weeks ago. We had a little 80-pound heifer calf, Angus calf. And so far, we've got 2 more to go. So we've got another one here at the end of March, and we've got another one in June. It's coming along. On the farm, we're prepping fields. We're dragging fields. We're fertilizing them, getting ready for the grass to grow, waiting for the sun to shine. And, we're grass farmers as much as we are cow farmers there on the farm. We're finishing up a home right now out in Oxford and trying to get that thing perfect so that people can move in there. And then we're also getting ready to, once we get done with that one, we're wrapping up another one out on the east side of town in Anderson. And we also, something that's a little bit different, we completed our lead inspections going through insulation on a really cool house that we're building down in the city of Cincinnati on the river. It's something that you would find a cross between a brownstone in New York and a row house in Cincinnati. Really awesome deal. But it's a lead inspection, which lead means leadership and energy and environmental design, green building. And that's all long-term for tax incentive. We build these houses specifically to the way the standard is set for us in LEED. They qualify for a certain amount of points, and they get a tax incentive for us building that house that way. Plus, it's really, really efficient. So we just got through that, which was really cool. And my daughter had a birthday here this week. So we've been celebrating all week. My diet's gone out the window, eating ice cream, Chipotle, and cookie cakes. And we just can't get enough because, for a little girl like that, we have to celebrate for a long period of time. So, hey, that's what's happening in our world and here at Wieland Builders and in Southwest Ohio. And we're having a good time. We're getting fired up for this year. We had some really good weather, and now it's dropped again. Now we're back down into the freezing temperatures probably throughout this week, and then hopefully it starts to raise up. But we've been able to get a lot of stuff done, so that feels good. So right now, I want to bring in our next guest. I want to introduce Amy Webb from Butler Tech, and let's hear what she has to say, because it's going to be a really good conversation. Just a good soul, good-hearted person, and I really enjoyed this interview, and I hope you guys do too. So let's bring her in. Hello, everybody. This is Jeff Wieland, president of Wieland Builders, and today our guest is none other than Amy Webb from Butler Tech, right here in Butler County, Ohio. Butler Tech is a vocational school, and I'm excited about it. I always get excited about vocational schools, so we are going to introduce Amy right now. Amy, welcome to the show, and thanks for being here. We're really excited about you being here.
Well, thank you for having me, Jeff. I'm excited to be here today with you.
You know, you and I have known each other for a few years now, and I was thinking about it earlier. For you and I not being very good friends, I mean, we know each other, but we're not. I've asked a lot out of you. And I like coming in here and do this podcast. We do a breakfast every year at Butler Tech. And then you were on the executive committee with me when I was president of the Ohio Home Builders Association. And so when you're on your way over here today, I'm like, man, I owe you.
Oh, no. I appreciate the partnership, and I'm happy to help out in any way I can.
Well, you've been awesome, and we really appreciate it. What we're talking about is we do we're always trying to promote Butler Tech, because we're always trying to promote vocational education. And I was getting ready to say vocational agricultural, because that's where I got my start in vocational school but we do a breakfast every year over at Butler Tech. The culinary kids make us breakfast there, which is unbelievable breakfast. And we have, what is it, Leanne, 300 or 400 people there every year, and it's just really getting the guys together and saying thank you. That number might be stretched. I might have made that up, but every year we get all of our trade partners and our staff over there. And then last year was really cool, because you guys brought a lot of people. You brought them from other career centers. You brought them from other educators, and we were all able to talk. And we brought students, which was really good, and they were able to get in front of people who are real jobs that are out there looking for help. So that was really cool. So it was Leanne held up a sign and said it's between 80 and 100. So I was a little off on my 300 to 400 number. I like the 300 to 400 better. So you and I met through doing the mock interview process at Ross High School. Is that right?
Not necessarily the mock interview process, but through an advisory committee that you were on, Tom Aller's advisory committee,
right.
One of the teachers there, and I also sat on that committee. So yeah, we go way back. That was probably over 10 years ago.
That was at least, man, that was a long time ago. I'm glad you're here to straighten me out today, because I forgot all about that. Tom just sent me an email the other day saying that we were going to meet and talk about that committee again. And wow, that's crazy.
Yep.
So I thought I was going to talk a little bit about the mock interview process, because for some reason I thought you were into that thing. So
I did that too. So I saw you in the media center over there, but I think when we first met, it was on the advisory committee.
Yeah. So what we do is Ross High School, which is my alma mater, where I graduated high school. I grew up out in Ross, and we go back down and get the kids ready to come out to the real world and do real live interviews with people who are looking to hire them. And it's cool. We sit there for probably most of the morning, maybe 3 or 4 hours or something, and just have maybe 6 or 7 kids. They have to put together their portfolio. They have to put together their resume, and they have to get dressed up, and they have to learn certain things to say, body language. And it was always a highlight for me, because I enjoyed trying to get those kids ready. And you see them, they come in, they're freaked out and nervous, and then you can kind of talk them off the ledge a little bit. So man, again, thank you again for being here. So why don't you tell me, what's your official position at Butler Tech? What do you do?
So my official position, I am one of 4 region satellite principal, satellite supervisor. I currently oversee career tech education in both the Hamilton and Fairfield school districts. So I have 34 teachers sprinkled across 8 different school buildings.
Wow.
It's my 7th year at Butler Tech, and for the last 7 years, I've been with Fairfield. Hamilton I've had within the last 4 years.
Okay.
Currently have 11 different program pathways throughout those various buildings, anywhere from engineering, IT, to we have a healthcare program, STNA program, LPN program at Hamilton High School, exercise science, family and consumer sciences, CBI, as you're well aware, with Mr. Aller. And I have digital media, I have graphic design.
Man, that's awesome.
I hit them all, but I have 11 different programs.
I didn't realize that Hamilton had that, and that was one of my questions for later on, but we could talk about it now. How does a school like Ross and like Hamilton and Talawanda, how do they get a vocational program in their exact building where kids don't have to go up to D. Russell Lee, or they don't have to go somewhere off campus? How do they get that there?
So right now in Butler County, we actually service all 10 districts, and our district actually encompasses 11 districts because we have Northwest and Coleraine. So every single school within our county, middle school through high school, has access to vocational education, and every single one of those districts does house Butler Tech teachers.
Wow, that's really cool. Northwest is big. I mean, they have a whole facility off the school that you can go to there, whereas in Ross, there's a couple classrooms in the building, and I would imagine it's probably the same way in Hamilton, but Northwest has a whole facility there, right?
Yes, and also Hamilton does as well.
There
is a career tech center attached to the high school.
It's clear to me at this point in my day that I don't have a clue what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to keep on going and giving you statistics that mean nothing, and just hopefully everybody gets a kick out of it. So what's a normal day look like for you? What are you doing?
So a normal day looks like for me, I'm on the road a lot. I have to travel between 8 different school buildings. I have to visit with my teachers. I have to connect with my principals in each of the buildings, the guidance office, academic advisors, and I also have a district office. So my goal is to ensure that I am supporting my teachers, that I am there, visible, working with the homeschools and implementing, career tech opportunities. Like right now, we are heavily in the recruiting phase, especially this month, because enrollment is coming up. So at Hamilton, my teachers go through the students go through a lottery system for the programs and apply. But because Fairfield is not necessarily, they don't have a career tech center, that's more of like an election process for the students when they go to schedule. So we work on recruitment, just ways to market our program. So it's a pretty large job, but it's exciting, and I have a lot of great teachers.
That's good. I mean, you have an Apple Watch. I mean, are you counting your steps every single day? You don't have like a hoverboard that you're riding between buildings.
I always meet my goal at the end of the day. All my circles closed.
So when I was getting recruited to go into the FFA, there was a group of students that came over to the middle school and talked to me and my buddies, and which is how we got involved with it. Is that still the way you're recruiting now, or are you guys trying to do more online, more of the educators trying to recruit?
No. So it all depends on what district you're in, and how they recruit. But, we have done that where, they have gone down to the middle schools to talk to the students. I've had my teachers, at the freshman in Fairfield, particularly at the freshman school, who will, switch classes with somebody at the middle school for the day, and they'll go to, talk to their classes. We do career fairs. So we have a career fair coming up in Hamilton at the freshman school. So the high school teachers will come down to the freshman school. The high school teachers have come down to the middle schools in Hamilton. So it all just depends. We do tours on campus. So we'll have sophomores. They'll take a day out of their social studies classes and they'll come and tour the career tech programs throughout the day. So we really do, we try to be as creative as we can, really market our programs, but honestly, the best way to market a career tech program is by word of mouth. And when you have great teachers that are doing amazing things in the classrooms, the programs sell themselves. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I think that everybody has an opinion of everything that goes on, but teachers, it's a skill. When you get a good one, it's a skill.
Correct.
And I feel like and at this point in my life, I probably spent almost half my life in school, when you consider going through college. So I feel like I've had some experience with some really good teachers. And when you get the one and it can connect, and it's just amazing. So It keeps the program going, keeps you coming back. And then, of course, as you grow up, you never forget those guys, and it's really important. And I had a special relationship with a handful of them, mainly my FFA teacher, and I still do. And Jeff Korb is down there now, and Ross, and always had a good relationship with him. But
he's retiring this year too.
I know. I hope that I can lobby you a little bit today to make sure that the program continues and we still make that thing thrive down there. So where did you grow up at?
So I grew up in the Cleveland area,
a
suburb outside of Cleveland, about 20 minutes outside of Cleveland, called Brunswick.
Yeah.
And I went to school up there as well at Baldwin Wallace, which is in Berea, Ohio. And then I got my career started down here in the Hamilton City School District teaching social studies.
Okay.
So I started there teaching, left there to become an assistant principal. Actually, I was assistant principal for 1 year at their freshman school, and then moved to Ross High School.
Okay.
Where I was for 4 years before coming on to career tech. And I am currently in my 7th year with Butler Tech. And what's what fills my heart is that, I started teaching in Hamilton. So it always holds a special place with me. And then now I'm back there again, just in a different role in career tech.
That's cool. That was going to be one of my questions is what was your inspiration to get into education? Because it's a skill that not everybody has, to be able to deal with children or deal with kids or deal with, young adults, but then to be able to educate them, that is a huge deal. So what was your inspiration?
Well, I've always loved kids. I consider myself, a very positive person, outgoing. I can talk to anybody, and I feel that I have a good relationship, with young people and pretty much with a lot of people that I interact with on a daily basis. And I always see the best, in people. And I know that I'm there to meet them where they are, there to help, there to serve. I'm a servant leader. And it's worked for me so far in the last 20 years. And I'm still just as passionate as I was, when I first started on this journey. And I love what I do. I love working with kids and now with teachers. And I still do get to work with kids a little bit, with the ones I see in the classrooms. And then with our, like you mentioned, like FFA, I oversee, DECA for our district. Yeah. So I still get to work with kids in that capacity.
That's really cool. And you're lucky. And I feel like I'm lucky too, to continue to have that passion to do what you do after so many years. And I think, I'm sure that there's days where you're just like, this sucks and I'm not going to do this anymore. And because I have those days but the key to it, I think, is to not let too many of those days butt up against each other. Then you can keep going. So are you on the Board of Education?
I am, yes.
For Ross?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So, right. I live in the Ross district right now, and I have 3 children two that attend the district and one which will be in there next year. And, once I left Ross and went on to Butler Tech, because I was no longer employed through Ross, I decided to run for school board. So this is now my 5th year on the Ross local school board.
Nice. So is Sean Van Winkle still on the board?
Yes. Okay. Yep. He's our board president.
All right. Okay, good. So I know Sean I graduated with him, and I grew up with him actually. And then was Ed Bossy on the board as well?
Yes, he was on the board when I first came on, and he did not seek re-election. I guess it would be 2 years ago now. Yeah, but he served for 40 years on the board.
I mean, between the 3 of you, that's just a great combination to have you guys on that board. So that's an elected position. Do you feel like it's political at all? Or do you feel like, I mean, you were obviously there. You guys are all there for the right reasons, but you have to be involved in a little bit of politics because you have to run, you have to get voted in. And how's that set up with you?
As far as politics go with the school board, our community... there wasn't a lot of controversy, if you will. I think for the most part, the community kind of trusted us to make the right decisions, particularly during COVID. I know that there some school board meetings got really, really ugly, and there were, debates about masks or, what to do. And we did have a little bit of that, particularly with emails coming in from a few parents, but for the most part, it was it was pretty even keel. There wasn't a lot of, I guess, negative.
That's good.
Negativity coming in.
When you deal with the general public, you never know what you're going to get. I mean, and it's nothing bad to say about anything. It's just a lot of different opinions sitting in one room, and they're pointing a finger at you and thinking that if their kid is doing great, it's because of them, and if your kid's doing bad, it's because of you. And so that becomes some difference. So how much influence? And I'm clearing rumor is what I'm doing. I'm asking you this question because I hear all sorts of things. How much influence does the board have over curriculum and Pledge of Allegiance and prayer, and how people go on and on about these things, and the world's coming to an end because of all these things that are happening. How much do you guys have to do with that, or is that school proper?
So, in terms of those like controversial topics, boards are in place to pass policy, right? And so, if a policy is voted in, then that's what it is. So if there is something that's controversial, for example, I mean, if you want to talk about the Pledge of Allegiance, if that is a board policy, then the district has to implement it. But at the same time, we also have a superintendent who manages the board and who advocates for the their people, different policies, keeps us in the loop of what's going on. And then it's rare, at least for us, where we would go against the superintendent's recommendation for something, because, they're in the trenches, they're on the front lines, living and breathing in that district every day. And, therefore it just depends on different policies. Right now, we've not gotten a lot of, pushback really on anything. A lot of them are just updating old policies and things of that nature. But for the most part, it's been pretty neutral.
Yeah.
What's caused a lot of controversy, and I don't know if you've heard, is the levy.
Yeah.
And last week we voted to go back on the ballot. So there has been a lot of things on social media and Ross Talk about the levy, and people want to debate whether or not it's a spending problem or a revenue problem. But I can go on here and tell you it's not a spending problem. Our district is in financial woes, and nobody wants to pay more in their taxes, including me. But it's the times we live in right now. You've seen rising costs in your industry, I'm sure, and so that has probably been what has been most challenging being on the board is going through this levy cycle. And we failed 2 levies now, and we're just, it's just it's not a good time.
Right. Well, levies are never a good topic of conversation. You don't want to be sitting in your family room watching TV and somebody telling you need to pay more to sit here and watch TV,
right.
And that gets tough. And I've seen that because we build all Southwest Ohio, and I've seen it everywhere, and schools struggle, and you need the school, and
yes.
people who have their kids in school, maybe they don't mind paying, but people who have paid for their kids to go to school all those years, now their kids are gone, they struggle with continuing on to pay those payments.
Correct.
And then there's the other side of it where people think, well, it's mismanaged, or it's this, or it's that. And the truth is that costs go up, and you gotta figure it out. I don't envy you to have to deal with those topics and that, because it is tough to get those levies passed, but you need levies because you need good schools. And I think that's probably a situation where the board needs to work with the trustees, where we work with the commissioners to create businesses, and they're going to come out there. When people in Ross, they want to keep it rural, and you want to keep it, I grew up out there. it's beautiful. It's great, but you need business to generate income, to generate that tax income, and you need houses to generate that tax income, and to pay for the schools, and pay for nice roads, and to pay for the police and fire. So I think that's probably a good, everybody needs to get together and be able to talk about that. Right. So let's not get too politically involved with that, but thank you for your service on that board. I know it's probably tough, and I'm always intrigued by it. We're going to have Isaac Sievers who is a Lebanon City Schools superintendent, who's a friend of mine, come on later on in the year. And we're going to talk a lot about those same subjects, because I look at him all the time, and I'm just like, I don't know how you're not smoking 12 packs of cigarettes a day and drinking beer like at noon,
right.
and not that he would, but because there's so much stuff that you have to handle, and you're dealing with the kids, and you're dealing with the teachers, and you have so many different things to deal with. So
you're the mayor.
Yeah. You're at the top of the
Yep.
chain. So let's talk about Butler Tech again. So what is Butler Tech? What do you guys do? What's your goals? What's it all about?
So our goal is to transform lives, to reach as many students as we can, and to prepare them for life after high school, whether or not that be the collegiate route or whether it be the workforce route. And we currently see every single day over 18,000 students come through a Butler Tech class throughout the county and Northwest Coleraine. And we have just, numerous different pathways that they can go through, just depending on what their passion is and where they want to go in life. A lot of our programs, and I think, career tech gets that stigma, or at least it used to, particularly when I was in high school, maybe when you were in high school, it's for the students that they can't hack it in a regular classroom or,
Absolutely.
In a regular building. But we have worked to change that. And I think we've done very well in doing that. We have more students right now that apply to our programs than we can actually take, unfortunately. But, we try to continue to be innovative in how we're educating students. We try to give them the best experiences. We try to have great business partners such as yourself, and really provide the networking opportunities for kids so they can have gainful employment when they graduate, or seek, a college route if they wanted to continue to pursue that. What's super exciting and something new that's going on right now is through the county and through our commissioners, we just received $15 million.
Wow.
So with that, they are looking to build an advanced manufacturing facility in Hamilton and also a aviation hangar out in Middletown.
Man, that's amazing.
To just continue to expand so that we can serve more students.
That's amazing. I had no idea the number was that big. That's probably crossed me at some point in time, but you just forget 18,000 students.
18. Yeah. It's like 18,700 some students, almost 19,000 students from 6th grade through 12th grade through adult ed. We have 2 adult ed campuses that just, cross our paths every single day.
And I know you say it's collegiate or to get a job somewhere, career placement, but what I've always figured that you guys were more focused on career placement. Is that the case? And if so, what are we doing? What are we doing to get these kids jobs? I mean, what can business, because all I hear in my business is how much help we need.
How much they need.
And it's not really just help. It's skilled help. It's skilled labor, because we can hire anybody to come out and help us, but we need somebody who knows what they're doing. What can you do? Because I've been through your facility several different times, and I've seen the tools that these kids are working with to get taught on CNC machines, fire trucks, and the band, and everything that you guys got going on up there is really cool. So what do you guys do? What do the students do? What can the community do to try and help get these kids jobs?
So right now, I know we'll start with the instructors. Most programs, close to all of them, have what's called industry credentials. So the kids, they go through a program to earn industry credentials. Like if you want to be a welder, they take welding certifications. If you want to be a cosmetologist, you get your cosmetology license. So a lot of the programs have these industry credentials that employers are looking for. Another, and I don't know the exact number, but it's one of our Senate bills passed last year, where even if it's a hazardous work environment, students ages 15 to 15, 16, 17 can still go and work. I know that there was always that roadblock where you had to be 18 if you were on this job site. So that's no more, and that's through the state. I think having our business advisories, that's key right there. Yeah. Is you got to have an instructor that has a strong business advisory that can bring these people in, talk to the kids, or have the kids go out and do co-ops or job shadows or externships, internships, and any area that would be a good fit for them. So there's just a lot of different things that, from a business standpoint or even from, a school standpoint, that can connect kids. We have a workforce services department that is dedicated solely for that, to connect the kids to industry. But it's just exposure. It's just, you got to get the kids out there, and you got to have those strong business advisories. Yeah.
So it's about, I say kids, and it's really students, because it's all sorts. And you have adult learning programs there too, right?
We do. Yeah, we have the LaSwordsville campus, and they have a lot of the healthcare that goes on there. And then we also have, we call PSEC, which is the public safety complex. And that's where they do the police, fire, and paramedics. So yes, you're right. It is students. Yeah.
And it covers so many different things there. Our business, we talked about stigma a little bit before, and my next question was going to be, are you a vocational school or are you a school? And because you don't want to be separated, and sometimes when you throw that word vocational out there, our business suffers this too, where people say, I'm going to go to college, and if I don't make it in college, I'll just go be a plumber, or I'll just go be a carpenter, and it's always that just before they get ready to say what they're getting ready to say, and you have no idea the reward that you can get out of coming to be a trade, and the reward you can get out of coming to be a carpenter, or a plumber, or a heating and air conditioning contractor. Because when you get started into it, you never know what when I was that age, I mean, I can look back now and say, yeah, I knew at that age, I didn't know what I was talking about. When I was that age, I thought I knew everything I was talking about. And so you got to find your passion. And sometimes it takes people like us to give them positions. It takes people like you guys to inspire them and get them out there. And that's really important. When you have adult education, it's the same thing, because it's taken people to get to a certain part of their life to realize, you know what, I've been stuck in this hole. I want to go learn to do something else. And you guys give them that opportunity, which is really cool. We talked a little bit in the beginning about, you served on the executive board with me at the OHBA, and which is the Ohio Home Builders Association. And it was one of my huge goals was to really work with all the technical schools and the vocational schools. I went to the Agricultural Technical Institute of Ohio State, and which is, again, a technical school. And a lot of the guys that we went to school with up there, all of the kids came from a vocational background. And OHBA, we were set to do that. We were really, I was gung ho on it. maybe a little bit more ambitious than what my executive committee was. But the thing that killed us, my motto was bringing people together that year, and it was COVID. It was 2020.
Right.
So
I know. Yes.
I'm like, never again. It was the worst year in the history of OHBA presidents, and because we lobby at the state level, and the state couldn't even meet in the House, and we couldn't go to schools. We couldn't do anything. I think we only had like one meeting for that whole deal. So that was kind of rough. But the thing that we were involved in at OHBA is Skills USA. And Skills USA is just this unbelievable. I mean, you talk about 18,000 kids in Southwest Ohio, or Butler County anyway, that are in vocational school. I mean, I can't imagine how many people are in the Skills USA competition. This is a competition where they have doctors and nurses, and they have barbers, and they have beauticians, and they have masons, and they have every single thing that a vocational school teaches. They have a competition in Columbus. They have them everywhere, but then the finals, I think, are in Columbus, right? And basically, for the construction side of it, they have, I think it's a 2 or 3 sided little building that they're building. They're building a subfloor, a wall. They're running an electrical circuit through it. They're setting a window. They're putting a roof on it. They have to flash it the right way. And then there's probably 10, 11 different builders that are walking around there grading them on it. I can look over next door to us, and there's the masons who are laying block, and they've got the Masons Union over there helping those guys lay block and teaching them the right way to do it, then grading them on it, and then somebody wins, and it's really cool. But as I was walking out, as a nationwide arena up there, when I was walking out, I start passing all of these other things, and I thought, man, I'm going to go stick my nose in there, and I start walking around. I'm just amazed because it's cool, because they're directed in, they're headed in a direction. They have they have a skill set in mind that they want to try and accomplish, and just to see them in their competing and trying to do the best they can, but to see that many people willing to go out there and do that labor force is really cool. Have you ever been involved in that or seen it?
So Jeff, you're speaking my love language here. When we talk about CTSOs, which are the Career Tech Student Organizations, and Skills being one of them.
Yeah.
I mentioned earlier that I oversee DECA for our district, which is is similar. It's just a different pathway. It's a business and marketing pathway, but that's really what drove me into career tech from a traditional, K-12 public school district to really want to go to career tech. Was I was able to be a part of judging DECA, judging FCCLA, judging FFA, and just to see the transformation and how students grew by being a part of those organizations and what it did for them. It was from interview skills to just different skill sets. It's DECA's a marketing organization. Yeah, I know. I hear you. And they don't, like, the acronym doesn't even apply anymore, but we have DECA, we have BPA, which is Business Professionals of America. But just to see the growth of the students and what they, can accomplish, the opportunities that it awards them, from scholarships to traveling. Yeah. So I know BPA, they're going to Anaheim this year for nationals. DECA, we're going to Orlando for nationals. But, some kids that have never been able to leave the confines of Butler County can travel and compete at these events, and they've just what they learned. So, I do have teachers in my building that do skills. I have a construction teacher who you've met, Tim Carpenter, before, my automotive teacher. So they are participating in skills. I don't personally oversee that one, but they are all, to me, just beneficial for students. It's amazing. The only thing I was disappointed in with that whole deal is it seems like if this is the best of the best, then why aren't we we being the school and Skills USA itself, why aren't we lining up companies and employers out the door and giving these kids a list and giving us a list to say, hey, here's the kids that want to come and work. Mm-hmm. Here's the guys. Here's the girls. Here's the guys. Here's all the people who want to come work. We're not putting an ad in the paper and they come out and they say, yeah, I can do this. And they don't have a clue what they're doing. Right. And these guys know what they're doing. I'd really like to see that. It's not even a recruitment. It's just an opportunity. I think that we could probably all of us do a better job and work together on, right, and get those kids some jobs and get us some skilled labor and set them on a path. I think that would be really cool. I think you said something before about how the kids can't see past Butler County. Because somebody's told them that they can, or that's the atmosphere they've grown up in. And I think
I don't know if you guys ever came to it, but Danny Baker, Baker Concrete, and Spirit of Construction, and a handful of other people, they put on a career days at Butler County Fairgrounds, and they were pouring concrete. You could run a piece of equipment, and you could do all sorts of things, build a wall. You could do whatever you want, and I remember being there as a student in high school and trying to, help kids get around and do different things. And you talk to a kid and say, you could do that someday. And no, I can't do that. I can't do that. Well, why can't you? And you start talking to them and putting it in their head that they can do it. It changes their day. And they're like, really? Yep. I had no idea that I could do that. You could do that. You could do whatever you want. Don't be limited. And man, what it would be like to go back there today, knowing what you could just do whatever you want in life and head a different path. But I think that's so important is we don't want to patronize the kids, and we want to be on this mutual respect. But at the same time, we want to say, hey, go do it.
Right.
Don't force them, but say, let them, let's go do it. Get fired up and go do it. So I know I get off on a tangent. I get excited about it.
I love it. I love skills, and I encourage all of my teachers to provide those opportunities for kids, because I think that every student should, have access to be able to participate in those, and to just further their knowledge set and their skills, and be able to compete if they want to, and to have those business connections with people that are judging those competitions. Yeah.
I've always been in that. And even when we were at school at ATI, I mean, they had beehive management, they had floral design.
Pretty much. And whatever your passion is, you can pick which competition you want to do and here. Run with it. Right.
and like, it's literally, because people say that all the time when you're a kid, hey, do whatever you want to do. Well, I don't know. And you find a place like Butler Tech or like ATI or something that is really literally offering whatever you want to do, we'll do it. Right. It's pretty cool. So does every school district have vocational accessibility? Does, when you get down in the Cincinnati school district and down to the Southwest local school district, do they all have access to vocational schools?
They do. So in Hamilton County, I know that they work with the Oaks. And the Oaks is very large geographically, and they kind of have the same model that we do, where you can either go to one of the career tech centers over there, like Scarlet Oaks or one of those, or they have career tech teachers housed within the various school district. I know Warren County also does the same thing with the Warren County Career Center. Yeah. They also have their career center, but then they also house teachers. Like there's, I met a business teacher Saturday at Lebanon High School that's hired through Warren County Career Center, but teaches at Lebanon. So, the further north you go in the state, I know when I was growing up, I grew up in Medina County. We didn't have vocational programs housed in our building. We had to go to the Medina County Career Center. Sure. So, I think it all just depends on which county you live in. Now, if a district did not want to offer career tech, I know that they have to have a board resolution and pass a resolution, a waiver to not offer it, which our middle school in Ross actually did that for a while. But now we do offer a robotics class over at the middle school there. Yeah,
that's really cool. I Warren County Career Center is a separate building. You have to go out there to it. And Jake Barnes is one of the construction advisors out there, and hopefully we have him on here at some point in time. But do you all collaborate together? I mean, is there a board where you guys get together, your presidents get together and say, here's our curriculum, here's what we're teaching, what are you doing, what are you doing?
So at least with us in the satellite world, there's 4 of us at Butler Tech, and we do get together once a year, probably not enough, with other folks that do the same thing we do with Career Tech. And we actually, I think it's in March is our meeting, but we get together, everybody contributes to different topics that they want to talk about. And it's just nice to be able to ping ideas on how other districts, handle certain career tech issues. So we do, not enough, but we do. So we'll get together with the Oaks, Greene County, Warren County.
That's an opportunity to start the Vocational Association of Ohio.
Right.
We started right here at Wieland Builders showroom. Maybe that'd be a pretty cool deal.
You're right. Not a bad idea.
So if we wanted job placement for these students today, what do you say right now? What do you say who knows how many people are listening to this at the time that we air it, but what do you say to them? How do we help our trades by housing your students, by hooking your students up with jobs? What do we do?
So we need to have our instructors connect with businesses. There needs to be that pipeline. There needs to be continuous communication, whether it be getting the kids out to the whatever business it is, or having the business come in and talk to the kids. But ultimately, I think the kids got to see it. They got to meet the people. They got to be exposed. They had, I have not done this at Hamilton, but I know at the Northwest Career Tech Center, there, the engineering teacher there actually holds like a mini business fair. And he actually just had this last week where businesses will come in and offer students a job on the spot during the school day. And then they'll actually do like a signing day like you do with athletics, but they'll do a signing day for, where students are going, where they're going to be working after high school. So it's just having the right connection, right business connections, strong advisories, and exposing the students. We've, at Hamilton, we have done tours of different companies. We've brought students through, for example, like G&W Products out there, Hamilton Castor. We've taken kids on tours through those facilities where they got to meet the owner.
Yeah.
And it worked. I mean, and one student left and he's hired, he's working there now. So
that's cool.
It's just really having the right connections and being able to network.
Absolutely. I think that I wish that there was a database of builders and a database of students, and you could just put a website together to say, come here for a job, come here when you're looking to hire somebody, and make it that simple.
Speaking of which, Jeff, we do have that as well through our workforce services on their website. That was through the butlertech.org website, but the Department of Workforce Services, they actually have areas where you as an employer can go in and put down what your needs are, and then kids can go in and look.
That's really good.
So there's that option. Just different ways to expose students. But I think what's nice about Butler Tech, when you think about it, and that the breakfast that we have, your contractor breakfast, I think that the kids and the programs we offer, either directly or indirectly, would tie in and fit with all of the people there.
I agree. And I think that a lot of our guys in the building industry are good tradesmen, and they do great. I mean, they're great plumbers, they're great carpenters, they're great everything. And when it comes to being able to reach out and hire somebody, or reach out and run and the business part of it, it probably hold back a little bit, or they struggle a little bit because they're not comfortable with that sort of thing. So realizing that on your side, it's probably, something that we could work on to try and make things easier for them to just click a button and not have to have any interaction or something with them. But so really, it's been great. It's been great. It's been great having you here and talking through these things. I think I have so many more questions, and I've just eaten up all your time and going through things. But do you feel like there's a niche at Butler Tech that it's almost like a college, and where people want to come to Butler Tech for a reason? I mean, do you have this ultimate skill level? Do you have a better percentage of graduates that get jobs, or graduates that go to college, or anything like that? Is there some? I mean, you're probably a biased opinion too, but do you feel like that there's something there, a niche?
I do feel, and just because I have children that are of that age, I have a sophomore, and who has friends that talk, but I do feel that there is a rising popularity of Butler Tech, and not for the wrong reasons, but for the right reasons, because we are transforming lives. We are making a difference. We are allowing students to pursue their passion and what they want to do in their lives. And I wish I had the exact placement rate for you, which I don't have on hand, of how many students are placed after they leave, because and many of them, just pursue, they could go the college route, or they could go the workforce route. They could go the military route. But it definitely, is an exciting place to be. It's an exciting place to work. We are doing great things. We're constantly innovating, and, people see it and people are noticing. Yeah,
I would agree. As much as college becomes more of a business than an education facility these days, with the cost of rising of college. I mean, when you get into some of these schools and paying $100,000 a year to go to school, I just don't know how you kids recoup that and parents recoup that when they come out of school on the other side. And so when I look at vocational schools and I look at technical colleges and things like that, I mean, it's direct and to the point. It's what you want to do. And if you have the opportunity and you have it within yourself, and you guys obviously have the tools and skills available to provide these for these kids, I think the kids should take an opportunity, take a look at it, and see what you can do with it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not set in stone, but at least try it.
Yeah. And it's the opportunity. I mean, for every kid out there, for every parent out there, I wish that there was a way that we could, through the National Association of Home Builders for the construction industry anyway, Bob the Builder was a great program. It was, I mean, people make fun of it, Bob the Builder, because it's annoying, but it was, but you got to get to those kids young.
Right.
And some of the people who do it the best is Caterpillar and John Deere and Case International, because they've got toys and they've got tractors and they've got kid bib overalls and socks and everything you could possibly think of. And when you're a kid and you don't even want to be a farmer, you're kind of a farmer because you're buying toys like that.
Or you're learning about,
right? You're learning about
what they do.
And I think we need to do that in the construction industry, and it's just getting into them young and just saying, hey, but even when they get into that high school age, you have the opportunity of a lifetime right now. You may not think so, but you can do whatever you want, no matter what other people are telling you. And I think you can get it right there at Butler Tech. Right. So again, thank you so much for being here. So I have one more thing. I have some lightning round questions.
Okay, great.
And I usually call people and I call their family and I call all these people and get these hidden secrets, but I don't know any of your family. And like I said, I think I feel like I've worn out my welcome with you.
No, this is great.
So I'm going to go through some cheesy ones for you. So Skyline or Gold Star?
Skyline.
Oh man, I'm with you. Fiction or nonfiction?
Nonfiction.
Favorite pizza?
Gosh, that was a hard one. But it depends. It depends.
Okay.
It depends. I was a history major, so I do like my nonfiction, but then just for pleasure, reading more fiction. So
okay, all right. Are you a big reader?
I am.
Okay.
Huge reader. Yep.
Yeah. Usually the smart people
play a couple books a week.
Usually the smart people are really good readers. My wife reads like crazy and I don't. So that tells you something. So favorite pizza?
It's called Ohio Pizza and it's up in Columbus.
Yeah.
With pineapple.
Nice. And pineapple does belong on pizza.
It does.
I'm going to tell you right now.
It absolutely does.
What's your favorite song?
Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler.
Nice. That was one of my all-time favorites back in the day. Every time it comes on, I still get a tear in my eye. What's your favorite movie of all time?
Princess Bride.
Okay. All right. Okay. Who's your favorite builder?
Jeff Wieland, of course.
So in your life, and if you end up at the end of your career and or at the end of your life for that matter, what do you want your legacy to be?
That I loved everybody that I worked with and got to teach, and hopefully made a positive impact on somebody's life. That's good.
That's really good. I love that answer. Hey, again, I'm going to say this a million times, but I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being here and everything that you've done for us, for Wieland Builders, and with me at the OHBA, and always being there willing to do this, and plus everything that you do for these students. It's amazing. You're an amazing person. So thanks again for being here, everybody. This is Amy Webb on the WB Download.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Wow, what a great interview. What a great person, man. She's dedicated her life to education and really has her heart into it, and has also helped the community, and has just been reaching out and doing a great job. Amy Webb from Butler Tech, everyone. Just such a great person. I hope you guys get a chance to listen to this episode and then check out Butler Tech and see the things that they do and how much they are inserted in different schools that maybe you don't even realize. So we're really excited about having her here and just in the relationship that we have with Butler Tech. Thank you everybody for listening to us today. It's been a great episode, and just, man, I get really excited about listening to all the things she has to say about what's going on in the educational world. So, our next episode will come out on the last Tuesday of the month. And I believe it'll be me again, by myself, talking about the next phases in construction and where we went. So the last time I did the episode, we were talking about how to find your builder, how to find your land. And now we're going to be like, hey, you found your builder. What do you do now? And that's where we're going to lead our next episode at. So if you subscribe to the WB Download, it is on wherever you find your podcast, on Apple or Google, or if you can't find it there, you can go to our website at wielandbuilders.com, WIELAND builders.com. And if you want to be part of the conversation, or you have any questions, you can send your questions to WBDownload at wielandbuilders.com, WB download at WIELAND builders.com. For any more behind the scenes for our podcast, and just check out these wonderful houses that we build, and see some more pictures and see in-depth details about Wieland Builders, you can go to our website, wielandbuilders.com, WIELAND builders.com. Thank you again, everybody, for listening. It was a very good episode. We're looking forward to coming to you again here in a couple weeks. Take care.